It's another great day to be alive. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. And if you're just joining, so sorry. I have apple in my teeth. I feel it. Oh, we keep it real around here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so jazzed that the holiday season is here. I'm pretty much jazzed every time I talk to you guys, but I'm extra jazzed because this is my time. This is my time to shine. The holiday stuff is out. The boxes are being undusted as we speak. I'm putting up my Christmas tree tonight, and I simply cannot wait. I have zero travel planned. I do not have any travel planned for the foreseeable future, and I couldn't be more happy to just be home. I'm in my nesting mode. I'm in my rest, rejuvenation, Reaganify mode. Wicked is here, so I'm adding ify to everything. I've said thrillify so many times that my brother and Matt were like, you can't use that word anymore. I'm like, everything's thrillifying. It's Wicked season. We have Wicked 2 coming out. We have Eras Tour documentary. We have the holidays. Things are looking good. I'm so excited to be on like a good sleep schedule, use my phone less, get back into my junk journaling, scrapbooking that I started. Like, this is going to be so much fun. But on the topic of holiday and everything fun this season, I wanted to, and I titled this episode The Holiday Highlight Reel, because I wanted to just kind of like bring us back to earth for a minute before we get into the chaos of a Thanksgiving, Christmas, holiday parties, end of year, everything. Because I feel like this time of year really tends to be like where comparison is at an all-time high. I'm already seeing it on social media. Like the second November 1st hit, it's like every influencer ever has the most perfect Christmas tree. They're wearing matching pajamas. Their house does not have a single speck of dust. They have garlands with their tension rods and all the things. And it's a lot. It is a lot. It's fun to consume. It's fun to see. But I feel like so many of us get really caught up in comparing whether our life feels less than, whether we have the perfect decor, enough money to buy gifts. And I just want to dive into this deeper and have an open and honest conversation and hopefully provide a little bit of advice and grounding for you as we head into the next 2 months. So first of all, let's just talk about like the emotional pressure and ultimately sort of the spiral that these feelings can cause. I feel like it's so incredibly draining when you're scrolling social media and you start to have these feelings, right? Like even when you're walking through, I don't know, Target or Hobby Lobby, you see people with super full carts. You see people checking out at the checkout line, buying all this stuff. You have no idea. You have no idea if they just got a bonus. You have no idea if they sold, a piece of furniture to be able to afford gifts. You have no idea if the person you're watching on social media is recording the one corner of their house that is super clean and the rest of their house is a mess. You know what I mean? That sort of emotional spiral can be really, really draining. And I feel like the more that you start to go down the path of comparison, all you're doing is negating the progress that you've made working towards the goals you have for yourself in life. Because yes, it might seem aspirational to like have all this stuff, have all this decor, throw a big holiday party, cook a bunch of perfect food, but the reality is you don't know what's going on in other people's life, especially when it comes to social media. And as someone who literally makes my living doing this, like, yes, I try to remain as authentic as possible, but like, of course, I'm not recording where I'm sitting around looking like a little gremlin, haven't showered in 2 days, and rotting on the couch. You know what I mean? So yes, this sort of mindset kind of sends us into this negative space, but I also feel like it doesn't necessarily serve you because it doesn't meet you where you're at. It kind of jumps ahead on the timeline. And I love this idea of like kind of viewing our life as a book, right? Maybe I'm only 10% through my book because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to live in my life is going to happen in the 90% later on in my book. So this kind of idea of chapters is something that was introduced to me, I think, through my therapist. And she kind of said, like, when you're looking at comparison and when you're looking at other people's life, you have no idea what chapter they're on. They could be on 10, they could be on 1, they could be on chapter 50, and their book ends at 100. And my book might only have 12 chapters and I'm on chapter 3. So it's just really doing myself a disservice to be comparing because I don't know what chapter someone else's life is on and I only know what chapter I'm on. Obviously, we all know that social media is not real life, but I also feel like the holidays themselves are not real life. We purposefully curate the holidays in a way that we are doing things we don't normally do. And there's also this sort of like cultural expectations that the holidays have to be magical. And I'm going to be honest with you, the reality is that the holidays are not always going to be magical. There's going to be a season of your life that maybe the holidays are going to be really tough, something you avoid. The holidays might never feel magical for you, depending on your childhood, depending on what the holidays meant when you were a kid, or whatever, something tragic might happen and you might not like it. So kind of giving yourself permission to not have magic surrounding the holidays always, I think will also help sort of just regulate expectations, because it is going to seem like everybody's always on a trip, everybody's celebrating some sort of family tradition, they're giving gifts. Keeping in the back of your mind this season, like just like scrolling Instagram, the holidays are also not real life. And my idea of a magical holiday does not have to mean someone else's or social media's idea of a magical holiday. Another tool that I've really been utilizing in therapy recently that's been super helpful and might help you when thinking about the holidays is asking yourself if it's true. This is something that my therapist introduced to me because I tend to be sort of like a catastrophe. I think I talked about this last episode where I tend to like catastrophize everything. So if this doesn't happen, then this. If I don't save up enough money to buy the perfect gift, they might get a better gift for me, and then I might seem like a bad friend, and then they might not want to be friends with me anymore. If I don't do X, then this whole tumbleweed of things is going to happen, and my whole life is going to blow up in my face. So I think when bringing this into the conversation of like comparison and feeling down about ourselves, or feeling like your holiday season wasn't magical, asking yourself, is it true? Is it true that my holidays were terrible? Is it true that I need matching pajamas in order to feel like I have my life together this holiday season? Asking yourself, is it true, as often as possible is a really helpful tool if this is something you're really, really struggling with. And similarly, identifying like your feelings as sort of a comparison thought and not the truth. For me, it's something I kind of have to revisit often because I go down these rabbit holes very easily. So I'm always just repeating to myself, is it true? Is this the truth? Is this reality? I know it sounds really silly. It's like kind of embarrassing to say that that's something I even have to do, but is this a comparison thought? Yes. Okay, this is not the truth. We're moving on. Sort of zooming out and reminding yourself like nobody's life is perfect 24/7, even if it looks like it. Whether it's you're driving by your neighbor's house and they have beautiful decorations. Okay, the outside of the house might look really pretty, or they might look super wealthy or rich, but they might have a sick grandma and they're covering the medical bills and they're really struggling to get gifts this year. Nobody's life is perfect, even if it might not look like it. And then asking yourself, this is, I feel like, the most important thing that I've come to as a conclusion for myself this holiday season is like asking myself what I want my holiday season to feel like rather than look like. Because there's so many aesthetics involved with Christmas and Thanksgiving and family time and decorations, but there's not a lot of talk about what do you want it to feel like. You might not even have the effort or energy to put up a Christmas tree or decorate your house for Thanksgiving dinner, but it's about what do you want your Thanksgiving to feel like? What do you want that interaction to feel like? What do you want time with family to feel like? If you're going to spend it alone, what are you going to do to show up for yourself? How do you want to end 2025 feeling? Because reality is like the aesthetics of it all go away. It all gets packed into a box. You forget about it. People put up new posts on Instagram. It all gets shoved down the algorithm, whatever it might be. So feel versus look. You could do this anytime, but if there is a social media account that you feel like you keep going back to, that you sort of get this feeling every time you come across it, mute that account. You don't have to unfollow somebody. You can still show them support by being a follower, but you can go to like the top corner on Instagram. I don't know how to do it on other platforms, but on Instagram you can go, I think it's like the top 3 dots in the corner, and you can actually mute an account. If they don't get notified, they have no idea. You could choose to mute it for a week. You could choose to mute it for like a month or something like that. But do this for accounts that you find triggering. I think that we should all add this into our toolbox more regularly, because something might trigger the weirdest feeling in you for no reason, even if you love someone or support them or like their account normally. So utilizing that whenever possible, just to kind of protect your peace this holiday season, because our biggest goal, or at least mine, is peace over perfection. That's sort of like my mantra that I'm going with, especially because I've been doing so much travel and I just feel like I've kind of let my personal routines and goals go to the side. Is like, all I want out of this holiday season is to feel at peace with myself and feel like I poured into my cup, filled my cup back up, versus curating the perfect holiday season. We probably will just have pizza for Thanksgiving. We probably won't even do anything crazy. Matt's birthday is that weekend, so I'd rather put money and time and effort into his 30th birthday than Thanksgiving. Christmas, it's just going to be me and him. So I'm like, I really don't care about doing anything crazy. We'll probably sit at home and watch TV, and that's honestly way more peaceful to me and my perfect idea of Christmas. And again, that is not aesthetic. It's not what everyone else is probably doing, or we're not going to have some big loud household with gifts. We probably honestly don't even really do gifts that often. Probably won't do Christmas gifts. We'll probably just enjoy time with each other. So for me, it's about what do I want my Christmas to feel like versus look like, and peace over perfection. And the last little nugget I'll leave you with that I was just trying to come up with, like, what is something I can repeat to myself? And it is that it is 100% okay for your holiday season to not be Instagram worthy for it to be meaningful. I'm very curious if any of you guys have any sort of ways that you avoid comparison, especially during the holiday season, but it could be more generally, like if there's a tip or tool or trick that you've learned from a friend or in therapy or from a mentor about avoiding comparison. We all do it. It's natural. It's human nature. We're competitive by nature, so it's totally normal. It's not a bad thing. It's something that is never going to go away. So finding tools to help each other, I think, is critical. So if you do have any tips that you want to share, you can either submit it to the forum and I'll read it on next week's episode, or you can just drop it in the comment over on YouTube or Spotify. But I'm going to say it one more time, just because I think it's so important. It is 100% okay for your holiday season to not be Instagram worthy for it to be meaningful, and peace is better than perfection. Yay! I'm so excited for the holidays. I will obviously be posting my holiday decor, but take it with a grain of salt. My decor does not have to look exactly like your decor, and it is all about how you want to feel and not look this holiday season. My name's Reagan. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely let me know. I'm enjoying these sort of like smaller bite-sized episodes, and you guys seem to be as well. So thank you so much for that feedback. As always, if you have any sort of Easter eggs, conversation topics, topic requests, story times, whatever it might be, feel free to fill out the submission form, which you can find in the description or in my bio over on Another Great Day Pod on Instagram. Thanks for being here. It was another great day to be alive, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!